You know those weird, squiggly lines that sometimes drift across your vision? They can be super distracting, maybe even a little bit worrying. Well, today we're going to get to the bottom of what those eye floaters really are and, most importantly, when you should actually be concerned about them.
So have you ever been staring at like a bright blue sky or just a blank computer screen, and there they are, these little specks or threads that just seem to float around with a mind of their own, and when you try to look right at them, poof, they dart away. If any of that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone.
And it's wild, the kinds of shapes people see. I mean, we're talking about everything from little black or gray specks to these weird, knobby, see-through strings. Some people even say they look like cobwebs or little tadpoles swimming around. You might even see a big ring. It all sounds a bit strange, but these are all totally classic descriptions of eye floaters.
So what in the world is actually going on inside our eyes to create these little visual oddities? Well, it's not some mystery, it's just biology. And it really has a lot to do with the completely natural process of aging. So let's break it down.
Okay, so let's meet the main character in this whole story, the vitreous humor. Now this is a clear, jelly-like stuff that fills up most of your eyeball, about 80% of it. You can think of it as the scaffolding that helps your eye keep that nice round shape. And it's basically all water with just a little bit of collagen mixed in.
Now here's the thing. As we get older, and this can start as early as our 40s or 50s, that firm jelly starts to change. It gets more watery, and it actually begins to shrink a little bit. The collagen fibers that were spread out before start to clump together. This is a completely normal, expected part of how our eyes age.
And this picture shows exactly what happens next. So on the left, you've got a younger eye, where that vitreous jelly is full and it's attached to the retina in the back. But look at the picture on the right. As that jelly shrinks, you can see it starting to pull away from the retina. And that whole separation process, it actually has a name. It's called a posterior vitreous detachment, or PVD for short. And look, it's an incredibly common, totally natural event. It's not a disease, it's more like a milestone in your eye's life. So here's the crucial part. Those floaters you see aren't actually on the surface of your eye. They're inside it. What you're really seeing are the shadows cast by those little clumps of collagen that are now drifting around in that watery vitreous. So light comes into your eye, it hits these clumps, and boom, it projects tiny little shadows onto your retina. And your brain sees those shadows as floaters.
Okay, so we've established this is usually just a normal part of getting older, but this right here is where we all need to pay really close attention. How can you tell the difference between a totally harmless floater and a sign that you need to call a doctor like right now?
I love this analogy because it makes so much sense. Think of that vitreous pulling away from the retina, like a sticker being peeled off an envelope. Most of the time, that sticker comes off nice and clean, no problem. But, you know, sometimes it's stuck on a little too tight and it tears a tiny piece of the paper underneath.
And while that whole tearing the paper thing sounds pretty scary, you've got to keep this number in mind. In a whopping 90% of cases, this whole process is completely harmless. The vitreous just separates cleanly, you get some floaters, and no treatment is needed at all. But it's that other 10% that we really have to be watching out for.
Okay, if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. On the left, you've got the usual harmless stuff. A few floaters you've had for a while, or some new ones that show up slowly. But the column on the right, that's the red flag list. If you suddenly get a shower of brand new floaters, or you start seeing sudden flashes of light, or it looks like a gray curtain or a shadow is blocking your vision, that's a potential emergency.
So why is it an emergency? Because those symptoms could mean the sticker actually tore the paper. You might have a retinal tear or even a full retinal detachment. And this is serious stuff. It's a condition that can cause permanent vision loss if it's not treated right away.
All right, let's shift gears. Let's say you've been to the eye doctor, you got everything checked out, and the good news is you just have a normal, harmless case of floaters. They're not dangerous, but man, are they annoying. So, what can you do about it?
Well, thankfully, there are a few simple tricks you can try. Just moving your eyes around, up and down or in circles, can sometimes swirl that fluid inside and move a floater right out of your line of sight. And since floaters are just shadows, anything that reduces brightness helps. So wearing sunglasses outside or turning down your screen brightness can make a huge difference. And here's the best part. For most people, your brain just learns to ignore them over time.
But what happens when that's just not enough? You know, for some people, the floaters are so big, or there are so many of them, that they really do get in the way of everyday life, making things like reading or driving really tough. For those more extreme cases, there are medical options on the table.
So there are really two main treatments to consider. First, there's laser vitreolysis. It's a non-invasive procedure where a special laser literally zaps the floaters and turns them into a gas that your eye just absorbs. The risks are pretty low. The other option is a vitrectomy. Now, this one is actual surgery. They go in and remove the entire vitreous gel from your eye and replace it with a saline solution. It works really well, but because it's more invasive, it definitely carries higher risks like infection or even retinal tears.
So while we can't really stop the aging process that causes most floaters, there are absolutely things we can do to be proactive and protect our overall eye health. This is all about playing the long game for your vision. Experts say it really boils down to 4 key steps. First, eat a healthy diet. Think leafy greens, fish, that kind of thing. Second, if you're a smoker, stopping is one of the best things you can do for your eyes. Third, get some regular exercise. It helps you avoid conditions like diabetes, which can be really hard on your vision. And finally, and this one is so important,
Get regular, comprehensive eye exams. And I don't just mean reading the letters off a chart. A real, proper eye exam means they dilate your pupils so the doctor can get a good, clear look at the very back of your eye. They can check on your retina and your vitreous. It's truly the only way to catch these potential problems early on.
So, when you boil it all down, most floaters are just a harmless, if annoying, part of life. But those rare exceptions are really serious, and the only way to know for sure which one you have is to get it checked out by a professional. Which really just leaves one simple question for you to think about. When was your last eye exam? Thanks so much for joining us.